Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. You look at Clyde Drexler, what a contribution so far.
Well, he created a lot of opportunities for himself in the first couple of quarters. And I'll tell you what, he was smart with his shot making, too. He really took good ones.
You know, points per shot attempted is really one of the undervalued stats in the game, and it's a real measurement of efficient scoring.
The Wizards shooting has been great, up over 50%. In fact, 52%. The Heat came into last season looking to three-peat, and anything less would have been a disappointment.
Yeah, well, you could see that they were focusing on the playoffs last year. The Bobcats didn't really stand a chance against them in round one. It was easy picking for the Heat.
LeBron James is out there with Abdul-Jabbar. Then there's Stephen Curry. And it's Michael Jordan. And it's Bryant in at the small forward. That's the group in the game for the Heat. And the Wizards with possession. Outside, Davis. On the wing, Drexler. Wants to get it to Malone and does. No good. The Heat go the other way with it.
Well, to get back to the Heat last year, a lot of teams in the conference didn't really look to be in the same ballpark as Miami in terms of playoff hunger.
Now Davis. After the missed three from Stephen Curry. And Davis puts it in.
Nice move and finish. I think the halftime break gave him a second win. He looks fresh.
Outside Curry. Pass to Bryant. 6 to shoot. Boom, he jams it straight down.
He's been so reliable again today, Kevin, and they need his points, and he's providing them.
The Wizards have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half.
You know, the Heat did breeze through to the finals, but the three-peat just was not in the cards after they fell to the Spurs. Terrific run nonetheless. 4 consecutive NBA Finals, 2 championships, and quite honestly, who knows how things could have gone if the air conditioning didn't fail or any other twist in that epic series. That air conditioning went down in game 1, folks, if you didn't recall that, but it wasn't anything about air conditioning. The Spurs were super hot and well-oiled and highly motivated. They wanted that trophy.
The free throw drops for Drexler. Both free throws good from Drexler.
After a 5-year absence from the playoffs, the Wizards were able to get back into the postseason last year. Big step for the franchise.
And the Heat call time here.
And the Wizards certainly turned some heads in their postseason run. A team considered to be an afterthought in the playoffs, but they did as well as any could have hoped for in terms of getting to the second round and pushing the Pacers to 6 games in that round.
Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. Davis against Curry. LeBron with a screen on Nance. Jordan the screen. James. That's good, and it's Bryant with the assist. Well, with the Wizards, a good postseason run, taking care of business, beating Chicago in the first round, and then Clark put a scare into the Pacers in the second.
Exactly, Kevin. There was a rumor that some teams were trying to make it where they would face the Wizards in the playoffs, thinking they were weak and an easy opponent. Not sure if those rumors are true, and the Wizards certainly showed they're very formidable and will be good going forward. They have got to put a body on it, because otherwise, with his agility and athleticism, they're not going to be able to contain him on the offensive glass.
Curry passes to Bryant. Bryant is doubled. Good ball movement here by Miami, and he gets the bucket. 9 points for Steph Curry.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat, top 2 in the league in offensive efficiency over the last 2 years. Coach Spoelstra has said they learned a lot from their 2011 finals loss, saying it was essential for us to utilize more movement, especially off the ball, and to move the ball more. Less isolation. We coined it pace and space. Guys, that hasn't changed.
Even without LeBron, Doris, they have personnel to score. Thanks. Here's what Washington's going with right now. Shorty, he's checked in for Malone. Captain Clutch comes in for Lucas. And it's White in for Davis. White drives in. Again, the Wizards good for 2. Second half of play, and we're 3 minutes into the third here. Now here's Curry. 9 points in the game so far. The shot. And again, it's the Heat missing.
Steph Curry known for his great shooting, and rightly so, but a well-rounded player. In fact, he tied for second in the NBA last season with 3 triple-doubles.
Here's Shorty. Tries again. McDyess can't hit. The drive by James, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And Steph Curry's first triple-double, how about this? It happened early last season, and it only took him 3 quarters of play. And what was an early statement game for the Warriors against the hapless Sixers, Steph showed them who was in charge that night.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. James Harden, he's checked in for Bryant. And it's Kemba Walker in for Curry. Now here's Drexler. 13 points in the game. Walker with the rebound. And Steph Curry, Steve, one of the best rebounding point guards in the NBA throughout his young career.
Yeah, not the strongest or the most explosive athlete, but incredible coordination and anticipation. And so his feel for the game allows him to figure out where to be before everybody else on the floor.
Here's Drexler following the basket by Michael Jordan. Well, while we have a second, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a list of the league's top shooters from last season. 4th, LeBron James.
You know, nobody said this guy couldn't miss last season, and because he was such a good percentage shooter, one of the best in the league, his teammates always were looking for him.
And a look at how the hustle game has been going for Miami.
Guys, one of the themes in this game has been how much of their scoring has come off turnovers.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
Both free throws good from Drexler.
It was predicted by many, and I count myself amongst those who felt the Wizards would take a nice step forward and be one of the surprise teams in the East, and they certainly didn't disappoint.
And here's James outside. Rebound, Washington. They get to take on the Magic at Orlando after this one. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip, and that one's good. Nance has got 5 now.
Yeah, he didn't have to slow down at all, guys. Just perfectly timed pass there.
Wizards, guys, ended 5th in the conference. And as you guys are talking about, a lot of people called that heading into the season. That was their projection for it.
Well, injuries derailed their 2013 campaign, Kevin. And they just seemed like a team ready to break out. And break out they did. I mean, 33 wins against the rest of the East. They jumped into that playoff picture.
Here's Drexler following the basket by Michael Jordan. Blocked. Harden outside. There's 1:54 left to play in the third. He had a nice open look right there.
And assists like that have typified their effort today. Great ball movement.
Really an example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Now here's White, stolen by Walker. And here's the fast break. Jordan leading the way.
He played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the lead.
Here's White. 1:21 left in the third quarter of the game. And another miss by Washington. Miami's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Harden against Nance. Harden kicks to Walker. Shoots. And James gets it to go on the assist by Walker. Walker's got 3 assists now in this one. Drexler against Jordan. Drexler, that's good. Drexler's got 17.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
Now, here is Abdul-Jabbar. Good work defensively by Drexler.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
And he gets the bucket.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
We've got 28 seconds left to play here in the third. Walker goes in. Jordan dishes to Hart. Good on the three-point shot. 5 points in the game.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Now White. He has 6. Nance outside. Here's Shorty. Abdul-Jabbar covering. Rebounded by Abdul-Jabbar.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. It's the Heat opening up a huge gap. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
This was an exceptional pass, guys, and we see the result. Hits him in stride, and bam, the slam dunk.
Miami's gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. Taking a look at the Wizards. Green is out there with Chandler Parsons. Then it's Q. Then there's Davis. And it's Gortat in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
The big story from last year was that the NBA finally was able to come to an agreement with the Silna brothers. They were owners from the ABA who had a huge stake in the media rights of the NBA.
No good on that one. Well, the Silna brothers out of St. Louis, they own the St. Louis franchise, and when the ABA and NBA merged, they cut a deal to get about 2% of the NBA's TV revenue with no... end in sight.
And Kevin, one of the greatest deals in the history of deal making across all industries was that deal the Silna brothers were able to cut, but it has finally been negotiated away. And with the way the NBA has become a global phenomenon with televisions across the globe, that was the best deal, as I just said, ever made. I'm happy they were able to put a cap on that deal for the owners that are now in the NBA.
And I'd like to make the announcement now. We're changing our names. That's Clark Silna. I'm Kevin Silna. Goodbye, everybody. The Wizards shooting straight 49% from the field. Kicks it out to Parsons. Q passes to Gortat, and he uses the glass on the layup.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily strategic, Clark. It's just a matter of playing with more heart. Got to play hard, guys.
Parsons with it. Iverson picks him up. Outside, Davis. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Damian Lillard. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Second team foul.
We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter.
You know, guys, every coach would love to play his star player every minute of an NBA season, but it's impossible given the limits of endurance and the risk of injury. It's basically a balancing act. I think teams are becoming wiser, though, in terms of keeping players fresh and helping them recover between games. Well, here we go again. An open path to the hoop, an easy 2 points. Where is the defense?
In the corner, Parsons with it. Fires from deep. And he gets it to go.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
The Heat have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter.
And looking at player recovery, now with the ability to track player movement, either with cameras or even sensors that players can wear, Teams are better able to measure the workload of players, helping them make decisions about where rest is needed and when it's needed, and even help them predict when there's a risk of injury, and that's really a golden bullet. And, again, another example of information being used to enhance player performance.
Lillard against Davis to the left side wing. Misses the three.
Excellent defense on the perimeter that time. He probably should have passed up that shot.
And he gets it to go. That's 10 points for Lillard. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And guys, across sports, the key to winning is keeping your star players available.
Well, teams are learning a lot from player tracking. For one, morning shoot-arounds may be more draining than we realized, so some teams are cutting those down. And also, athletes do better with frequent short rests, so subbing often can leave players with more energy in crunch time.
High arcing shot. That's good. Great play set up by Iverson. Washington's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Out to the right wing. Back to Davis. The three. And again, Washington with the triple.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
That's good.
No way you can get back into the game if you continue to give up layups.
Pass to Green. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
That's a very good high percentage look right there.
The Heat have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. It's Anthony with the drive. That's good.
The defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it turned into the easy basket.
On the wing, Davis.
Well, it started a few years ago, and it looks like it's a trend that is here to stay. Sleeve jerseys, once again, making their presence felt in the NBA. I got to admit, I don't see the appeal for players. I never like to shoot with a sleeved shirt on. It kind of tugs at your arm, but it sells, and that's the big thing for the league.
Ryan is checked in for Miami. And then for Washington. Shorty, he's checked in for Green. The kid comes in for Q, and it's White in for Davis. Parsons for 3. The Wizards with another miss. Well, as Steve was talking about, the sleeves might bother some, others not so much, but with last year and the All-Star teams using them as well as the Christmas games, Clark, it is the de facto special edition jersey now, it seems.
And, it's good for some casual fans who want to support their teams without running around winter wearing a tank top.
Like you and I are doing right now.
These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing them. That's 4 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been three-pointers.
And the Heat call time here.
Chandler Parsons, until recently, had been one of the league's great bargains on his second-round contract. He found a way to supplement his earnings, though. He did some modeling for a designer clothing company. Caught some locker room grief for it, but hey, it's good work if you can get it, and I'm sure those checks kept him from being too offended by the locker room banner.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. LeBron, he's checked in for Aldridge. Harden comes in for Iverson. And Curry subbed in for Lillard. Here's Bryant. Kicks it out to James. Good ball movement here by the Heat. The 3 from Harden. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's got 6 assists in the game. And you guys were talking about Parsons' appearance. He cut his hair off last season as a show of solidarity with a 10-year-old he'd met who was battling cancer. What a generous gesture, a great gesture, Steve, on his part.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the two had formed a bond and both drew inspiration from each other. You love to see it, and Parsons showing not only that he's an effective player on the court, but definitely an inspiration in his community as well.